Poor cow. Okay, so this is the 2020 MacBook Air. I have the i7 configuration, although I would highly recommend you guys consider the i5. The i7 does have slightly better integrated graphics, but the quad-core has a lot of thermal throttling issues, which I do run into quite often. Right now I'm playing Minecraft Windows 10 Edition, and actually this is the first game I've tested out of the 3 other games that I've tested that actually runs phenomenal. As you can see, you're getting about 60 FPS. Even though the CPU is running pretty hot, the GPU is only taxed by about 30%. So this game is really optimized to run on the Iris Plus graphics here. And this is the Gen 11 GT2. So yeah, so pretty much the 2020 MacBook Air can play games pretty good, but you will run into some issues if you try to play AAA title games, some of which that have really high demanding graphics. Like Minecraft, this is a very optimized game. Like, you're not going to have any issues playing this. I mean, they finally got this running perfectly on phones, and now even old phones from like 4 years ago now can play this. Although you do have different graphical settings and options and stuff. I think actually, you know what, they must have unified that by now, so all the graphics and stuff should be pretty much the same. But yeah, I'm also not even playing on, I'm not even plugged in, and I turned up the render distance chunks to 16, which is nice. Particle render distance 100, so right now you're running at the fanciest graphics possible. And like I said, there's no power even being plugged in. I was literally just using the trackpad here to move around, and yeah, the game runs really well. It's very surprising how good it runs. I did not think it would be able to run on battery. Once you plug in the power adapter, it actually doesn't really change anything. Because pretty much the game just doesn't really tax the system. So that's one of the great things about this game. They did a phenomenal job optimizing it. Now I'm going to try the Java version as well, and we're also going to boot back into macOS. Now I originally only do these tests on a Windows environment because games on Windows tend to run much better. Yeah, they tend to run a lot better, and so yeah, that's why I tried it on Windows first. And yeah, I am pleased to report that it's running pretty good, which is awesome. So let's take a look and see how good the Java version runs. I don't think they're updating the Java version anymore. Oh yeah, I'll have a link to the server that I'm playing on if you guys want to join me. Feel free, that'd be kind of cool. I think we have a few more slots left, so like 3 or 4 people can probably get in and start playing. Yeah. Alright, let's check the Java version. So I have a friend that only plays the Java version, and he hates Windows 10 version, so let's give it a quick shot here. Okay, so a few things to note, since you guys are probably wondering which configuration you need to get. Just get the i5, you'll be fine. The i5 runs great. Also get 16GB of RAM, because for games that require more VRAM, like Grand Theft Auto 5 for instance, or Counter-Strike, you're going to want to get 16GB of RAM, because it's going to actually help you reduce the stuttering. So make sure you get those upgrades if possible, and then afterwards, if you still have extra funds, get yourself some extra SSD space so you can actually install your games. Because, like, for instance, if you get a computer that only has 256GB of storage and you want to get Windows or you want to install games, you just don't have enough storage. So shoot for the 512 if you can. Shoot for maybe even a terabyte. I think the one I have here right now, this is the terabyte version, so I should probably go ahead and yeah, let's see if this works. Okay, I'm going to plug the power back in because it looks like we're starting to lag a little bit, actually. Actually, let's see how this plays without power. It's funny, in Windows the mouse will start to lag sometimes. Pretty hilarious. Let's give this a shot. Single player, multiplayer. Okay, let's go to options first. Video settings. Okay, so oh yeah, this has a lot more video settings, doesn't it? Full resolution, current. Let's do current. But let's enable full screen. Graphics fancy, smooth. Lighting VSync on. We'll turn VSync off. No thanks. Particles, all, clouds fancy. These done. Single player. Game mode, survival, difficulty. Yeah, let's do survival. So we have the Java version launched. Let's see how well it plays. Oh, this is kind of cool. Shows WASD. It's already trying to teach you how to play. That's kind of cool. Oh, I appreciate that. Here we are in game. Oh wow. Yeah, Java version doesn't run nearly as good. It actually looks really different too. Wow, it feels very... The graphics look less vibrant from what I can tell. Interesting. Actually, it's... Even though it's lagging a little bit in the beginning, being like 30 FPS, probably because when it's loading the map, that's what it must be. When it's loading the map, I'm getting those FPS drops. Yeah, there we go, 36 back to 70. Actually runs good too. Even though it says the OGL for OpenGL, even though it says it's running at like hundreds of frames, 80 frames, it feels like it's running at like 30 frames. There's like this little micro stutter, but it's still quite good. Interesting. Yeah, I've never seen this kind of cool garden thing. It's kind of cool. Ooh, is there a cat here? There is a cat. Look at that. Alright, so I'm going to plug in the power. I want to see if it's going to boost the performance. I have the power plug here ready. I'm going to plug this in real quick here. Alright, we got 100 something FPS. Alright. Let's see if that helps keep us at 100 maybe. Oh, actually, yeah. It feels a little bit smoother. Still dropping down to like 50, but we haven't dropped down to 30 yet. Let's see once a new area loads. Let's see what happens. Try running. That'll make the new areas load. Oh yeah, looks like when you have the power plug plugged in, you do get more consistent frames. Pretty unbelievable though with the Windows 10 version though, how it was just staying at a locked like 60 FPS. That was insane, especially on battery. Yeah, definitely runs better with the power plugged in. Of course it should. That's just how it is usually. But that Minecraft 10 edition really kind of surprised me. All right, now let's boot back into macOS and see how well that runs. Because I think you can play the Java version on there as well. Windows 10 version is not gonna. They don't have that because obviously it's Windows 10, right? So it's not gonna run on macOS. But let's try it anyway. See what we can do here. I'll go ahead and restart my machine. All right. And then I'll hold down the Option key. But yeah, so yeah, pretty much get Windows installed because you're gonna run into some games running terrible on macOS, and other games, you know, will just run decent. But you still want Windows because it really does enhance your gaming experience. You can see here that I can choose different drives. So we got the Macintosh HD there, and then Windows there. So we're going to try Macintosh and see how well it runs. Yeah. To reiterate though, like I've said in my previous videos, get the MacBook Pro 2020 because the cooling on the MacBook Pro 2020 actually is designed really well. Take a look at the cards. I'll have them linked here. It actually shows what's up with the cooling on the MacBook Air 2020. It's really jacked up. MacBook Pro 2020 should actually work quite well. Yeah, I suspect that the cooling will be about twice as good on the MacBook Pro, maybe even better. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab this Java version. Okay, now for those of you that don't know how to get the game, because I know there's going to be a lot of people asking me, they're like, how did you get the game? How did you get the game? I'm like, seriously guys, just Google search it. Okay, let's see here. Minecraft for Mac. Let's see here, buy for PC and Mac. Minecraft.net. Okay, so it wants you to register, so go ahead and create an account. Click green create button, and then eventually there'll be a download button that you'll click on. So I already have an account, so I'm just going to log in first and see what happens. Okay, so I finally got logged in here. So let's go ahead and play. Alright, I need to download game again. Okay, here we are. Oh my god, that's loud. Alright, we're going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, so we got the game running here. Let's go in the options. Actually, now let's just full size that. Single player, survival, new world, create new world. Alright. Oh man, that is so cool. It actually shows the generated world. That is so cool. What on earth? They did not have this in Windows. Huh. Oh, okay, it's not a generated world, it's just progress bar. Progress cube. Okay, so downside is we don't have. Okay, so the downside is we do not have our FPS counter. I should see if I can somehow enable that. Alrighty, so I tried to get the FPS counter working, but it doesn't seem to be working. I'm really not sure why. It's kind of hard to get FPS counters working on Mac. It's a shame they don't have an FPS counter built right into the game. That would be kind of nice. Well, I am in Mac and I am playing. It seems a little bit laggier, yeah. I think it's definitely worse than Windows. And so yeah, this is the Java version. Yeah, it's running. I'm probably getting like 25 frames per second, and I am plugged into power as well. So let's see here. Yeah, it feels pretty glitchy. It feels pretty laggy to me. Let's try unplugging the power and see what happens. About the same. It's still probably playable in macOS, it just doesn't seem as fluid. Plug this back in. Let's try increasing the chunk size. VSync. That might actually be why I was lagging. Let me just go back. I turned VSync off. Oh yeah, way smoother. Keep VSync off if possible. The 12 chunks is probably where you want to keep it at. Let me try adding more chunks in a sec here and see what'll happen. Yeah, it's a shame the FPS counter don't work. What an eyesore. Okay. Let's try going to 12 chunks, or 32 chunks. Biome blend 5x5. Not sure what that is. Oh yeah, even with additional chunks. Still doing pretty decent. Huh. Cool. Alright, well there you have it. It does run. Even though VSync is off, it is a little smoother. It's still not as smooth, but it's still fun, it's still playable. Yeah, anybody who still wants to get the MacBook Air for gaming, I would say definitely do it. Just know that gaming in Windows is a lot better. The macOS version does work. It's a little bit more laggy, but it does work. I am able to play and enjoy the game, which is cool. I do like that. So there's this really awesome application I want you guys to check out. So what it does is it allows you to screen record your gameplay, and then after it's recorded, it does have a built-in video editor so you can cut the clips, merge them, and then make a continuous video. I want to show you guys how this program works. Take a quick look, and if you guys are interested, definitely check out the links below in the description. It should be a pretty useful program if you haven't used any screen recording software before. I highly recommend you guys try it out and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. I have used this before for certain games. I do find it pretty useful, so yeah, let me show you what it's like. Hello and welcome to all the gamers out there. This is Serge. Today I'll be telling you about one of the best game recording softwares called Uniconverter by Wondershare. It lets you record your gameplay on your Windows or Mac computer. Let's take a look. To begin with, you can obtain Wondershare's Uniconverter by going to the official website, and I'll have links in the description below or around the page here. A quick online search will lead you to the webpage, and if you are a Mac user, you can even get the app from the App Store. In either case, the interface of the application for both the platforms is almost identical. For this video, I'll be using the Windows version, as I play most of my games on Windows 10. So after you have it installed, Wondershare Uniconverter on your computer, just go ahead and launch it by double-clicking its icon from the desktop. On Mac, you can find it in the Applications tray or Applications folder if its shortcut doesn't automatically appear on the dock. Now we'll set up recording preferences. To do so, click the Screen Recorder category in the left, click this drop-down button at the top, and click Screen Recorder to open the Wondershare Screen Recorder panel. Here, the first thing you'll want to do is define the area of the screen you want to record. Since most of the games are played in full screen mode, check and confirm if full screen is selected in the recording mode drop-down list. Next, choose whether or not to capture the audio from Windows itself. You can do this by checking if the speaker icon is enabled and that the correct audio output device is selected in the System Audio drop-down list. If it is a multiplayer game and you regularly interact with the other players over the microphone, you can record your voice too by ensuring that the mic icon is enabled and the correct audio input device is selected in the microphone drop-down list. You can even set the recording preferences more granularity by accessing the other configuration options. To do this, click the settings icon at the bottom right corner. This will expand the panel and reveal the other settings that Wondershare Screen Recorder has to offer. From the General section, you can choose a folder you want to save and record the videos to the selected and preferred frame rate and recording quality as needed. The Record Timer section can be used to schedule the recording. Although this is mostly used when you want to record your favorite TV show, I'm telling you about this option just in case if you ever need to schedule the recording time of your gameplays. As for the mouse section, as a gamer you probably want to check the show mouse click and recording box while making a walkthrough for a game. However, the play mouse click sound is something you wouldn't want to use unless it's extremely important. So leave that unchecked for now. In the shortcut section, you can either define your custom shortcut keys to pause, resume, start, and stop the recording, or leave the default ones unchanged and use them while capturing the gameplays. Finally, click the big red record button to begin the recording. Well, that's it. If you are ready and have footage of gameplay that was recorded earlier and you want to add your commentary with or without showing yourself on the screen, you can do so by selecting webcam recorder or audio recorder from the drop-down list on the screen recorder window respectively. Now, if you choose webcam recorder, Uniconverter automatically records the audio from the microphone. So no additional intervention or configuration is needed from your side in this case. And you know what, guys? There's still more to it. Uniconverter has a built-in video editor as well. This feature lets you trim your video, crop them, and subtitle them if needed, apply various effects, put watermarks, or manage global audio volumes as required. You can access all these editing tools by clicking the video editor category in the left panel. Additionally, Uniconverter supports more than 1,000 conversion formats. And thus, regardless of the extension of your gameplay video files, you can easily convert them to a different, more compatible format, such as MP4, MOV, etc. This can be done by going to the video converter category from the left panel and importing the clips to the program. Furthermore, you can even find the editing tools right below the thumbnail of the imported videos. Within these options, you can seamlessly edit the video just before converting them to your preferred format. Isn't this awesome? And there's even more. The built-in video compressor tool that Wondershare Uniconverter has lets you reduce the size of the large video files, so now you don't need to worry about the storage space or sharing your walkthroughs with your friends and team players. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention one more very important tool, that is the merger. Now, merger is a new Wondershare Uniconverter V12 feature that can be accessed by going to the merger category from the left panel, and it allows you to import multiple files to the program. After importing, optionally, you can trim these videos if needed and then merge them all into one continuously playing video clip. While merging, you can even see the output format menu to choose a file format you want to export. This feature might come in handy if you have recorded your gameplay in several clips and you want to join them together, so it is easy to publish on YouTube or any other social media websites. So as I've said in the beginning, Wondershare Uniconverter is one of the best applications for recording your games, be it for professional purposes, reviewing, sharing the walkthroughs with your friends, or even bragging about your score online. So that's it for today, gamers. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, just go ahead and grab a copy of Wondershare Uniconverter and show your friends how smart you are at what you can do. This is Serge signing off for now. I will see you soon with another exciting and informative video. Till then, have a great day and happy gaming. Okay, so here's my setup for the Mac gaming. Essentially, I have a controller. This is going to really help reduce the input lag for a lot of games, especially games like GTA 5. I've got a hub to plug in my SSD and my mouse. This SSD is a Samsung SSD, the T3. They also have a T5 available now. Great for storing your games. It's really quick. And then a cheap $20 Logitech mouse. And I got Windows installed. So if you are going to game, definitely get Windows installed. And I'll show you how to do that in this video. So this is what the Xbox One controller looks like. It's really comfortable. It's got really nice clicky buttons, great feel. Definitely a must-have if you're a gamer, especially because gaming with a keyboard can sometimes be a little glitchy and laggy. So I highly recommend you guys pick one of these up. I'll have links in the description. And then here's a quick overview of the hub. It's got HDMI, it's got Ethernet, it's got pretty much everything you need. And I've been using it for a while. I do have a dedicated review of this product as well, so if you guys want to take a quick peek at that. Comes with 3 USB ports, a fast charging port. You got micro SD and standard SD card slots, and even an additional USB-C power port to charge the hub or to give it more power, because sometimes some hubs require more power if you're doing many things like powering monitors and that kind of thing. So yeah, it just kind of plugs in, and then I plug in all my other peripherals directly into it. I do like this T3 Samsung SSD drive a lot.
I've been using it for many years without any issues. If you guys need additional storage, highly recommend these Samsung T3 drives. I just cannot say enough good things about these drives. There is also a really cool hub that I got from directly from the Apple Store. It's a decent little hub. This one is special because it supports 2 monitors. Now, I did have a dual monitor setup, but I don't use this anymore, so this hub is kind of obsolete, but Apple does sell decent hubs. You could consider getting one from them as well. So you either want to game or you want to install an application that requires Windows. So the first thing you want to think about is how much available storage you have. So I have the 1 terabyte version, so I'm not going to have too many storage issues. So get the most storage possible when getting these MacBooks, because if you're going to install Windows on it, you're going to have to split this drive in half. Search for the Boot Camp Assistant, and let's go ahead and open that up, and I'll guide you through the process. So click Continue. And now in this area, this is where you're going to select how big your Windows partition is and how big your macOS partition. So as you can see, the bigger the Windows, the smaller the Mac. So where are you going to be putting most of your files? If it's going to be mostly gaming and it's going to be mostly on Windows, make the Windows partition large. If you still need to video edit in macOS or do other macOS type tasks, maybe you want to do it kind of more in the middle. It really depends on you, and if you have an external drive, maybe you just want to go straight in the middle and not worry too much about who gets more space. And sometimes you might run into issues where you thought you needed more Windows space, but actually you need more macOS space. So maybe going somewhere in the middle really is the way to go about this. The next thing we're going to want to do is get an ISO. An ISO is basically just an image of a specific file, and what we need to do is we need to get a Windows ISO. So we're going to go to the Microsoft website and we're going to get a Windows ISO directly from Microsoft. And so the reason why you want to do this is because you want to ensure it doesn't have any viruses. So don't get the ISO from anywhere else but the Microsoft website. Okay, so go ahead and type in Windows ISO, and then usually if it's from the Microsoft website, it should be good to go. We're going to click on that, and now we're going to download our Windows 10 disk image. All right, so we're going to scroll down, we're going to select Windows 10, we're going to confirm it, and then on the next screen, we're going to want to confirm 64-bit. It's kind of funny that it asks you all these questions. It should just always be 64-bit at this point. All right, so let's go ahead and select the product language. So select your language. Obviously, I speak English, so I'm going to select that. I'm going to confirm it. And then once that's complete, then we're going to select 64-bit if you got more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. Alrighty. And then get a little question that asks me, do you want to download this from Microsoft? Yes, I do. Okay, and now we're downloading the ISO. So once the ISO is completed downloading here in this bottom right-hand tray, I should be able to continue on from Boot Camp. Now we're also going to plug in our power, because without it being plugged in, we risk the battery dying during the install, which could ruin everything. If that happens, it could literally corrupt your Windows install and you just have to restart from the beginning. It would be a hassle. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our ISO once it's done downloading, and it'll be in your downloads tray. So I have it selected here. I'm going to click open, and I'm going to click install. So now what it's going to do is it's going to grab that ISO and it's going to get us important drivers and other software for the ISO. Now I'm fast forwarding this part. This part takes a good sometimes 10, 15, maybe even 30 minutes. This whole part, I completely fast forwarded it. And now what it's going to do is it's going to restart the machine automatically for me. And we're going to just go through the Windows prompts. So when it restarts, initially it almost tries to boot as Mac, but then it's like, okay, we're trying to boot into Windows. So now it's doing the Windows installation. So what we've done is we've mounted the ISO, and now we're running directly from the ISO. So now we can actually use the ISO to install Windows. So downloading the ISO and mounting the ISO, you haven't really done much. You've just gotten the ISO to do its job, and now the ISO is mounted. So now we're going to actually install Windows. So to install Windows, select your languages, click next, and it's going to ask for a product key. We don't have one. we're not going to worry about this because we're just trying to play games on Windows. Nothing crazy here. Just click you don't have one, and then select Windows 10 Pro and click next. All right, got that selected. Pushing next. And remember, guys, I'm always here if you have questions. Do not hesitate to leave a comment below. I'm always here to help you guys out. I do want this to be a great tech channel. All right, make sure you read the end user license agreement because if you don't, then all your information will be stolen. That's what usually happens in these agreements. You're just agreeing that all your information will be stolen and sold to other companies. Yeah, usually nobody reads those, but you should actually try reading those. Okay, so now we're copying the Windows files. We're getting the files ready for installation. We're installing features, installing updates, and we're going to finish this next part up. So it is finishing up, and here we are. So the computer restarts, and then this whole part also takes another 15 minutes. And then now it's done. And keep in mind, it takes 15 minutes if you have good internet. If you have slow internet, it could take 30 minutes. All right, so here we're just pressing next, selecting our language, selecting our keyboard. Yes, skip. So it definitely wants an internet connection. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it does make it kind of quicker for the whole process. Plus, you're going to need to update as soon as you install Windows. So usually I think it's better to just have internet connection. I usually try to do it without. Then it wants you to create a password, create one, and then choose your privacy settings. So normally I would say delete all of these or just say no on all of them. But there may be some you might be interested in, like the location services one. But honestly, I would just say no on all of them. And Cortana is kind of annoying, but I think I left it enabled. Okay, so now it's just kind of setting it up, doing some more installations. It's almost there. Okay, so now we're booted into Windows. So here I am in Windows. Now this prompt here is pretty important. This is your drivers. So Boot Camp wants to get you drivers for your Windows. And so what it's doing is it's getting drivers specifically for the MacBook Air keys, like the brightness control, the volume control. And so it's just going to make your Mac experience much more fluid. We definitely want to do this. Going to click install, going to scroll down on the end user license agreement, and we're just going to let it do its thing. And once it's all installed, you just restart your PC and you're pretty much done and good to go. Okay, it's done. It does recommend a restart. I don't think you necessarily have to do this, but some of your stuff might not work properly if you don't do it, so you might as well just do it. Okay, now that it's installed, we can go ahead and get Steam installed, and then from there, that's it. You'll basically have Windows and you'll have your Steam. So when you want to switch back to macOS, all you do is you restart the computer and you hold down the Option key and select macOS. So here I'm showing you how to get Steam. So I just search for Steam in Google, and then I click on download Steam on the Steam website, click yes on these prompts because I am installing it. And essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just getting Steam running properly on my Windows machine. And if you guys have questions about how to get this working, I mean, I do show you how to do it here, but it does move kind of quickly. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I had a few issues where I tried to install the Steam, but it just like wasn't downloading. I'm not really sure why. Anyways, so now it's working. I'm going to click run here, and we're going to install Steam. Once you install Steam, you will get a prompt that'll ask you, log into existing or log in or create an account. If you have an account, obviously log into the existing account. If not, just go ahead and create an account. Okay, so here I'm going to go ahead and get logged in. So now I'm logged in, and so yeah, here I am. So now I can download all my games, and I can essentially play all the games that I don't normally have the ability to play on macOS. So I finally got it running, and yeah, so So that's how you get Windows on your Mac. So here I'm adding my hard drive because my hard drive has all the games. I selected it. I got about half a terabyte of games. You might not need to do this if you're installing or if you're getting all your games directly on your drive. But yeah, as you can see, I got a bunch of games here. So I'm going to be testing all these games out. If you guys want me to test a specific game in Windows or in macOS, definitely let me know in the comment section below and subscribe. Alright, so here I am on Windows playing GTA 5. And this is how you get GTA 5 on your Mac. So yeah, if you guys have questions, let me know. The other thing that's kind of useful is a program called Ninite. So what I do is I go to this website called Ninite, and it allows me to select all of the applications that I find useful. So I search for Ninite, then I scroll down and I check all the apps that are useful. So there's Chrome, there's browsers, imaging, documents, messaging, media, runtime, security. This is pretty useful. Like Classic Start allows you to bring back the Classic Start button. There's a lot of really useful stuff. Take a look here. Maybe you guys will find something useful here to use. This is so useful after a fresh install of Windows. I come here every time after my fresh install of Windows. Very useful. Get my OpenOffice, get my VLC, get my torrenting applications. And you can even grab Steam here. Pretty awesome stuff.